YouTube, Alex Conley here today with another video. Today's video, I want to talk about why I'm considering FIRE, F-I-R-E, in Thailand. So for those who don't know, FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And the premise is an individual needs a certain amount of money to live on each year. We can multiply that number by 25. And I believe that's the commonly accepted number for FIRE is that you currently have in your bank or in your possession roughly 25x your yearly consumption amount. That is the amount of money that you spend per year, 25 times that amount in savings, investments, etc. The premise being that you would be able to live for at least 25 years on this value. Now, many people shoot for more than this. Some people may try it on less with the presumption that they're going to work remotely and add to the sum. There's different ways of doing it, but I kind of want to talk about something specifically, and that's geographical arbitrage. And that's the idea that different places have different costs of living and different quality of life. And if you prefer one place that has a lower cost of living but still a high quality of life, you can make your savings and your income stretch further than they would be able to be stretched if you were living in a higher cost of living, typically Western country. And that's not to say there aren't expensive places to live in the East, but most people, when they think of high cost of living places, particularly because this video is in English, they're thinking about the United States, they're thinking about UK, various Scandinavian countries. Eastern examples would be places like Hong Kong, Singapore, coastal China. These types of places are generally agreed as quite expensive places to live. So why would I pick Thailand specifically in Southeast Asia? Well, the first and most obvious is the lower cost of living. Particularly in Chiang Mai, Thailand, cost of living is much lower than where I'm at in the United States. Certain things, of course, I would have to give up if I were to relocate to Chiang Mai. Something like a car has a lot of value-added taxes in Thailand because many cars are imported. And so that's something to think about, is that if I were doing this FIRE, this Financial Independence Retire Early in Thailand, it would not be the same exact lifestyle that I have in the United States. That being said, I don't really like driving. I find driving to be stressful. I find it to be expensive. It's dangerous. It's not really something that I enjoy doing. I do it because I have to do it. I do it because I live in an area where things are stretched out, and to save money on housing, I live further away from the college that I attend. So for these reasons, I can't quite give up my car yet, and I don't think that almost anyone in the United States, unless you're in, say, Manhattan, can make a practical plan for living without a car. There are some people that do live without a car. Ironically, I say that, but one of my roommates, he does not have a car. He does this to save money, and I assume for some of the same reasons that I don't like driving, although he is able to go without it at the current time, and I am having to retain my vehicle. Hopefully in the long term, I will not have to do that. So next, I just mentioned car-free, high quality of life in Thailand and Chiang Mai specifically. There are a number of coffee shops, more coffee shops than in my own area. The prices are lower. The exchange rate is not as good as it was in the past. That is something to keep in mind, but it's still cheaper than the United States. And I don't think that Thailand will ever become more expensive than the United States for most things. Of course, Western products are going to be more expensive in Thailand, but things like rent, transportation, food are unlikely to exceed those costs in the West. Some people disagree. Some people find that there's instances where they pay more, but I found in most cases in Chiang Mai, most things were cheaper or about the same price, and there wasn't really much of anything that I wanted that was more expensive than it would have been in the States. I'm not big on dairy products as an Asian person. I'm lactose intolerant, so I'm not going to be eating a lot of imported cheese, or I find the sushi and the pork and other foods to be fantastic, so I'm not going to be eating a lot of imported beef. These types of things that are going to be pretty high end. What else? I enjoy traveling, but I don't really have to stay in super high end accommodation. I mean, it's much more affordable to travel in Thailand than it is in the United States. If you're gonna go to a beach type experience in the United States, it's gonna cost you a lot more than it will to have a comparable experience over there. So something like a beach vacation, something I haven't done in the States in a really long time. Um, that's going to be more accessible if my on a lower income uh, in another country such as Thailand. What else? You know, like I mentioned, the food's great. I had phenomenal sushi in Chiang Mai. There was great different Thai dishes, local foods that I really enjoyed. I didn't at any time feel like I was missing out. Now, in the long term, I do think that I would miss certain things that are more prevalent in the West, but I don't necessarily feel like those are deal breakers. It might take me just a bit more time spending time in these places to discover the restaurants that I really like and the places that do the best renditions of things like hamburgers or pizzas that are simply just not traditional in Thailand. They're popular among tourists and people like that, and so they are served there, but they don't quite have the level of experience in preparing these foods that Westerners have. Um, Not quite as much exposure to these types of foods anyway. Um, Next, dating. I found dating to be more enjoyable in Thailand. It seemed like there was less adversarial type interactions that seemed to be more common in the United States. It just seemed more fun, more carefree, easygoing, laid back, not as serious, and I really liked that. And I think that's certainly something in the back of my mind after I am financially independent is that something that I want to pursue more seriously. At the current time, I don't feel like it's in my budget or in my financial budget or time budget, but that could certainly change. Finally, I want to just shout out to Mr. Free at 33, the blog written by Jason Fieber. I really enjoyed an interview I saw with him, and I've kind of been following that. And now that I've been following it and also talking to a few friends in real life, I've started to get into investing and learning about investing. And I think that that's going to be a really big contributor to my ability to fire, essentially, is to save money and invest it wisely, and to make sure that I'm protecting and growing my savings. But anyway, I just wanted to thank him and thank all of you for kind of sharing this type of information, pursuing this type of lifestyle. And I think it would be really positive change for a lot of people to pursue this rather than just empty and mindless consumerism that we deal with sometimes in the United States, where we feel like we have to buy the largest house, the fanciest car, the nicest watch, the newest phone, these types of things. I think there's more to be had in life than these material possessions. Material possessions that we can't really take with us anyway, and certainly after being exposed to a lot of death throughout my life, I've moved more and more toward trying to figure out what's really meaningful to me and what's actually fulfilling for me. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to what I have to say, and if you enjoy it, definitely give me a thumbs up. If you agree or disagree, let me know down in the comments. Comments are a great place to generate discussion and to kind of teach each other. So until next time, I'll see you guys.